All right. What's up, everybody? What's going on? It's Bama Boy Jason here once again. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me on here. It's that time again, folks. It's that time again for the Alabama High School State playoffs. And I am going to give you the brackets, the pairings tonight on part one of this series. We're going to do 5A through 7A tonight. Then part two is going to feature 1 through 4A. So this is going to be fun and interactive. So enjoy this as much as you can. Okay. Only four teams can go into the playoffs. Your region champion and your runner-up have home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Unless you're a second seed and you travel to the higher seed, it's this. If you're the higher seed, you can hold that home field spot. So pretty much an exciting time of year. Rematches are always inevitable. You always get to the best. If you beat the same team twice, then you are the best in your region. Yes, but all is winner or go home. What can I say? Those who have made it, congratulations to all the teams here in Alabama this year. Starts Friday night at 7 o'clock. Of course, 7A only has first, quarter, and semis, and then they have a break between the state championship game, which will be on December 2nd in Bryant-Denny, known as the Super 7, when all the classifications meet in the first week of December. So the road to the Super 7 in Tuscaloosa begins this Friday night. I'm looking forward to it as much as you can. And comment, like, if you got anything to say about this. Well, I'm going to give it to you as best as I can on here. So here we go. We're going to go through 7A. All right, folks, this is what it looks like right now for Class 7A. As you can see, we're going to break it down from each region. Now, Region 1 and Region 2 will play each other in this first round. Now, the first round we have the Theodore Bobcats, which with a record of 9-1, 8-0 perfect in the region this year. Of course, their last defeat was with Mary Montgomery. They will be hosting the number 4 seed out of Region 2, the Enterprise Wildcats, which, I mean, this with Enterprise with a record of 7-3 and 4-2 overall. So pretty much the tail of the tape here is pretty interesting. So we're going to look at this. All right. All right, breaking down Theodore here, folks. They are the Region 1 champion this year, with no doubt with a 9-1 record. These guys have scored 337 total points this entire season with an average of 33.7 points per game. Pretty solid, if you ask me. Their only lone defeat of this 2020 season was a 42-21 loss to Saraland, but after that, Theodore has been on a really roll this year. I mean, they've been awesome. And they finished the year in the final poll here ranked 4th in the state, which is pretty good to start off behind the top 3 teams in Region 3 with Thompson and Hoover and Hewitt-Trussville in that poll. So really, it's really great to see this. I mean, they had some close scares this year, but notable, they did get the win over Daphne in an overtime thriller on September 11th, 21-21. That was their win, and they haven't been stopped since. And their defense ain't all that bad either. As you can see, they're 13.0 points per game, 51-57 opponents scored. Not a bad 8-0 region this year for this Bobcat team. They're pretty good. They might make some noise in this playoff. So, as expected, down there in Mobile, these teams are competitive year in, year out. We haven't really had any really great teams out of Mobile in a while since McGill, Tubman, and Hoover have played each other in 2000. See here, 16 and I think 17, where Hoover's dominance beat the Mobile. McGill's now in 6A, so yeah, you really have to say tip your hat off to Theodore. They look pretty good, and they're getting a matchup with Enterprise this year in the first round. Not bad. This really And Enterprise, I look at Enterprise's schedule here, and Enterprise with a 7-3 record, it's not too bad to finish last in the region. Their last loss really got to them against Navarre, Florida, 42-21. But losses to a close game to Prattville on October 2nd and Central Phoenix City. And it really matters, but they're only averaging their defense 23.5. Their offense not too bad, not too shabby for a 4 seed team out of Region 2, 36.1 per game, 235 points allowed. This might be a very complex, close game if you look at it. Enterprise does not have any ranks in the state, so really it comes down to Theodore winning this game in that bracket. So it's quite interesting, folks. I mean, with all these teams that are in it. So we're going to look at that bracket here on your screen there, if you see it there. Excuse me, I gotta get that right. Okay, so Theodore has the number 1 seed out of the South bracket. So the winner of that will play either Central Phoenix City or Region 1 will have Theodore will have another rematch with Fairhope, which I can say they beat Fairhope 25-17 in a thriller. If a rematch happens, that means that Theodore will host that game. Either way, they will host Central Phoenix City if Theodore wins and beats Enterprise in that bracket on the 13th of November. All right. Now, Central Phoenix City is the runner-up from last year in the state championship of 2018. So you go down and you wonder, how good is Central Phoenix City? Well, good question. So let's see here if I get this right. All right. So Fairhope and Central Phoenix City in the other bracket of that, which Fairhope, with a record of, let's see here, where's Fairhope at? Oh, that's low floor. Okay, that's another classification. Let's see here. All right, here we go. Here we go, folks. I'll give it to you if I can get it loaded here. Well, shoot. I don't know what happened there. Well, all right. I'm gonna have to go back the old-fashioned way to look for a team on here. Fairhope, the Pirates, down there on the beautiful Eastern Shore. Here we go. 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 Okay. 2020. Fairhope finished the year 8-2. Third in Region 1. Not too bad. Not too bad. I mean, that's pretty good for a team. They got a really tough slate. They have to travel to defending runner-up Central Phoenix City in the first round. And Fairhope's only averaging 29.0 points per game. Their defense, 6.9. A 6-2 region record, 8-2 overall. Their home record's pretty good. Their road record's pretty good at 4-1. Fairhope's been in the top 10 all year long. They finished the year ranked 7th. So really, it's going to be an interesting contrast of styles. I hate to put it, Central Phoenix City is always primed and ready to go. Now, on Central Phoenix City, the runner-up from last year, they lost to Hoover their first game, lost to Afala, Smith Station. No, I take that back. They beat Smith Station, and they lost to Auburn by 1 point, 29-28 on October 2nd. But not to take nothing granted from Central Phoenix City, they're a pretty good team at 6-4. The runner-up has a lot to make them into these playoffs as the second seed out of Region 2. Hosting this game, 35.0 points per game, 231 points allowed. The defense is 23.1, but don't think Central Phoenix is going to be a slouch, folks. But telling you right now, Central Phoenix has been in the thick of the rankings all year long, finishing the year on a positive note, but ranked 8th. So not nearly as where they were a year ago when they played against Thompson. So it's totally a different story here. So I am going to look at that bracket and I'm going to tell you what I think. Okay, I got Central beating them, and the winner of that will play more likely Theodore and down there in Mobile. So yeah, you got Central in that bracket, and Theodore will be a great matchup. Now, that's my prediction. So okay, the number one seed out of Region 2, Auburn, the Tigers, finishing with a one loss here. They've been pretty great this year. They've been right up there with Hoover and Hugh Trussville and Hoover and Thompson all year long. Auburn finishes the year with a 9-1 record, 298 points allowed, scored. Defense average is 29. Well, the offense scores 29.8 per game, and they only allowed 131 points per game. Their defense 13.1, pretty not too bad. Much like Hoover, this team is pretty good. They won a region, so their lone loss came at the very end of the year to Enterprise on the road, 38-27. Now, a perfect record at home for these Auburn Tigers, and only lost one game on the road. It did not hurt their region status. So this Auburn team looks primed to make a deep run, if anything possible. So you're looking at that bracket, and they have their hands with 4th seed out of Region 1, Baker. Baker not too good here. Well, not too bad. They're 5-4. Their offense 27.7, 249 points scored, average of defense of 19.3. And finishing dead last in Region 1, I mean, these guys, Auburn's just too good. You got Auburn winning, so I got Auburn to predict to win that game. Baker, their losses this year to Daphne, badly 50-25. That really they weren't even in contention. They lost to Amos Wright, Theodore, of course. Fairhope. And then, well, the losses still got them in the playoffs with a 5-4 record. So the way to make some noise here, in order to make some noise, you got to be good at your game. So the game that really anticipates, it's really I'm looking forward to in the South bracket here is Daphne, the number 2 seed. The Trojans are back in the playoffs, but this time as a 7A school for the first time. So they will be matching up against the 3rd seed out of Region 2, the Prattville Lions. We've heard so much about these two teams of being in the state championship with Hoover so many years. But now they meet in the playoffs here. It's going to be an interesting matchup, to say the least. Daphne, they have been pretty solid like Theodore. They have a 9-1 record also like Theodore. So this Daphne team is going to be fun and make some noise in the playoffs. 36.3 points average scoring, 138 points allowed, 363 points scored. That's pretty solid right there. I mean, that number right there in itself tells the story of the Daphne season. And their defense ain't too bad either. This Trojan team really came to 7A prepared. I mean, they've had a great year, and they've been on the thick of things. They've been in the top 5. They've been ranked 6th, and they're ranked 5th. And I mean, for no doubt, Daphne has had a 5-0 record at home, a 7-1 region record like Hoover did, and a 4-1 record. Their lone loss was to Theodore, so they made up some ground for themselves, and they've been unblemished. And they have won so many games after that. And their opponent is a familiar one. These two are formerly been in the state championship in 6A, so there's no doubt this matchup will be a fun one to watch, and we'll keep an eye on it. So they have the Prattville Lions at home, so Prattville has to travel down there. Prattville's had their ups and downs this year. They're 7-3, 244 scored points. Their defense, 24.4. They're allowing 162, 16.2 defense average. Not a bad region record, 4-2. That's not bad, not too shabby. 3-1 at home and 3-2 on the road. So Prattville's been in there in top 10. They've been peaking off and on. So Prattville finishes the year. They kind of get back in the top 10 where they belong at the end of the season. So, excuse me. Well, we'll find out what they are and where they stand. Wait a minute, they didn't finish the year they didn't finish the year ranked. So, and not bad for Caleb Ross and his squad. They lost to Hoover early in the year, but they have only had their ups and downs, and it really comes down to field position in this game. I mean, Daphne's defense at home has been pretty stout, so this is going to be a fun game to look at. I'm going to go with Daphne, but you can't tell about Prattville. They've been the power. They've been there, and they know what state championship. They're trying to get back to where they are, and they're getting a step closer to that goal. So we will find out. So the winner of that, like I said, you're looking at a possible Auburn-Daphne matchup. That means Auburn would host Daphne at Auburn. That'll be a good matchup in the second round of the quarterfinals. So it will be fun. It will be fun to watch this. So we know we're already getting some good matchups in the South to contend with the North this year. But who's going to challenge the North this year? And we're moving to the bigger brackets here. And I just want to say, for everything that's well worth it, good luck to all this competition 7A ball. It's really heating up. I mean, it's really getting good. I mean, getting ready to cover the North bracket here, so this is my fun bracket right here. But I mean, this is really what I like to see. But all right, so here we go with the North bracket of 7A football, and I really want to say, for the record of everything that goes well. So we're going to go to the Thompson Warriors, the defending state champions of 7A football. Oops, I didn't want NFL. Okay, Thompson. See here, this is Thompson. So they're undefeated at 10-0. They're ranked number 1 in the state, and they have been there all season long. So this team is loaded with talent off the board. I mean, they're that good. They're your Region 3 champion. They knocked off Hoover in the last week of the season on October 23rd, 39-23. That secured their home field advantage in the North bracket. So, looking at these scores, not saying they've been unblemished and they've been unstoppable. Yes, we see 432 points scored on Thompson all year, 43.2 points per game. That's pretty solid. A defense with 15.7, averaging to 157, and they've been undefeated at home, in the region, and on the road all season long. And the only team that I can say right now, and I'm getting here, folks, is just look at this. I mean, you got to think, who's going to stop Thompson? Who's going to do it? Who's going to be that team? Is it going to be Grissom? Well, looking at Grissom's ticket or tape over here, folks. No, statistics are different. When you're playing the 4 seed out of Region 4, so realistically, I mean, if I was to do this the right way, I'd probably say a 6-4 record for Grissom. Welcome back to the playoffs. They haven't been here since 6A days, so this really is going to be interesting. I mean, 24.2 points per game. Yeah, you're playing Thompson, Alabaster. It's going to be a blowout. It really is, because it has to be easier said than done. And I'm looking at Grissom's statistics here. it doesn't match up that way. I mean, it really don't, and it's just the way I see it. So, and Grissom hasn't really been ranked all year, and not a bad road record. I mean, 4-1 on the road, 2-3 at home, 4-3 in the region. So you're dead last. You're welcome to the playoffs. You get an early exit. You're home, and you've made yourself the playoffs. Maybe you have something to be proud of, hang your head up on, and maybe for next year. But don't count on this game to be like it is right now. Now, that bracket, with that being said, now, James Clemson and Hewitt Trussville. Two teams in the top 10 and 7A Friday night. Who could ask for anything better than this? I mean, this is going to be a fun game up there in Madison this week. And I'm looking at Hewitt Trussville. They've really come along since those two losses to Hoover and Thompson this entire season. And the 1-point loss at home to Hoover really dented them, but they haven't been stopped after that. And they've been in that top 5 all year long. They've been a top 2, 3 team. They go toe-to-toe with Hoover. They go toe-to-toe with Thompson. 8-2 overall. 333 points scored, an average of 33 points. That's a pretty good Hewitt Trussville squad. 182 points allowed on scoring. Allowed there. Defense isn't that bad either. 5-2 on region play, 3-2 at home, and 5-0 on the road. So this Hewitt Trussville team knows how to play on the road. They are pretty good. So we will find out exactly what happens. Now, James Clemens, on their ticket of the tape here, well, it's not too bad to compare notes here. They're not too bad either. They're 23.8 scoring, 238 points scored. Not bad for the team that won second in Region 4. So 115 points allowed. Defense is pretty good. And not bad for their region record, 6-1, because they lost to Austin to lose that region. So 5-0 at home, 4-2, 3-2 on the road. And they've been up there in the top rankings most of the year. Their final ranking of the year is 10, but they've been in the top. They've been up there. So, I mean, looking at week after week, they're playing some really good football. And I don't know about this, but, I mean, they had a few forfeit games this year, but due to COVID. But this team Hoover went toe-to-toe last year in the second round. Hoover won that game 23-20. It was a nail-biter, and they can stay with Region 3 teams. They might make a run, but we'll find out. And looking at it here, a James Clemens-Thompson matchup or a Hewitt Trussville matchup? Well, I'm going to go with Hewitt Trussville because this rematch seems inedible. I like to say the fun of Region 3, a rematch in the second round is inedible. So going down here to the next part of this bracket here, folks, just follow me here on here. Like my Facebook page if you want to follow me on Crimson Circle. I do post stuff on Bama and the high school football season throughout the entire season here. I have been. So if you want to join me, comment, like, subscribe on here. Join me, follow me on here. So we got Austin and Oak Mountain. Oak Mountain out of Region 3 with the 4 seed makes it in the playoffs. And Austin, your Region 4 champs, hosting Oak Mountain. What a matchup. The Black Bears. Now, what is Austin like on you say? Well, Austin's been pretty good this year. They have a pretty good. They got a great offense. I mean, they have an average of 38.4 points a game on scoring, 176 points allowed. They're scoring 384 points on everybody this year. That's pretty good for an Austin team. And your Region 4 championship, not bad for Austin. Not bad. I mean, 6-1 in region play, 4-1 at home, 4-1 on the road. That's pretty stout. Their lone loss this year came to Sparkman in a nail-biter out on the road. But they haven't been stopped. Well, Mount Brook beat them on the last week of the season. That was 6A. But they've been pretty good this year. They had a great year. And they've been ranked right up there. And their final ranking does get them a ninth ranking in the state. Now, their competition, they're up there in Decatur, will be the Oak Mountain Eagles. Welcome back, Oak Mountain. You draw the 4th seed out of Region 3. You make that trip up to Decatur. If you pull off the W, I will be surprised because you know who in the second round. So in the quarters. So not too bad, not too bad. And Oak Mountain's been beating a lot of good competition in Region 3 this year. I mean, most notable wins like Vestavia, but they got blown out by Hoover, Thompson, Hewitt Trussville. They're 6-4. The offense, 29.2 points per game. Defense needs some work. It's 27.5. And these guys are only scoring like 292 points on everybody, but they really haven't been ranked since Hoover beat them. So it really tells a story here. So their last week of the year, they lost to Clay Chalkville. But they managed to make themselves some noise. They might make noise in the playoffs. Austin looks like to be the team to challenge them, and then I'm going with Austin. And my favorite team, my home high school team here, folks, right here and right there and then. So, you know, your team that's been in the semifinals is trying to come back to the state championship and would love to get back there and be the team to at least unseed Thompson is your Hoover Buccaneers. Hoover enters this with a 9-1 record. They're pretty awesome. They've had a great year. They only lost one game at the end. It was to Thompson, 39-23. Hoover's offense, not too bad as compared to Austin's on here. 38.6 points per game. 386 points on everybody. 191 allowed. Averages to 19.1 on defense. This defense has been solid all season long with Josh Lundy in this offense. This quarterback's been throwing over 2,000 yards. The Buccaneers, under Josh Niblett, finished second in Region 3. Look like they're going to make themselves some noise in the playoffs. They always do make deep runs, and it's no different this year. So I kind of expect that as it goes there, folks. So, as much as I hate to say it, but they are playing Sparkman, the Sparkman Senators. And how many times have we seen Hoover play Sparkman in the playoffs? Well, I'm already gonna look at Spartans take a tip here, tell the tape here, but 6-4, 223 scoring points on everybody, 22.3 on average on offense, and their defense, not too bad. It's their losses to Florence and Thompson and Garndale and James Clemens, but they're not too bad. I mean, 3-2, 5-2 in region, and finishing fourth, 3-2 a home record, 3-2 on the road. That's pretty good, but it's really going to be a tough call. Not really. It's a no-brainer, but Hoover's going to blow you out of the Met because Hoover's looking to get some redemption after the loss to Thompson, and Hoover's going to be in true playoff form once they play them. So, with that sets up an Austin Hoover matchup in the quarters. So, that really is my prediction. And Hoover would have to travel to Austin by virtue of the higher seed up in Decatur. That will be a fun matchup if it happens that way. And I mean, if it builds up that way, you're going to have a Hoover Austin matchup. So it really, if you see that happening, and then Hoover's road to getting back at Thompson has to go up in Decatur to play the Austin Bears. So it could be Hoover and Hewitt in the semis, but I kind of predict a Hoover and a Thompson rematch. And that will be in Alabaster, vice versa, because Thompson won the head-to-head battle there in Alabaster to win the region. So Thompson will have to host Hoover again. If Hoover had won that, they would be in a different predicament, but we didn't get that this year. So, oh man, I tell you, it's a lot of playoff predictions, but that is what it is, folks. And you're getting great high school football at its finest. I mean, Hoover hasn't won a state championship since 2017. So really, it's going to come down to that. So I'm looking forward to this playoffs. I really am. And as I said, it really comes down to that. But I'll show you something here again. Okay. So we have a Daphne Auburn matchup in the quarterfinals. And we said Theodore and Central. Now the question is, in that first bracket here you see there in the north and the south, can Theodore unseed Central Phoenix City? Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, we could see an Auburn Central rematch possibly again, but there's some good talent. There's some good teams like Daphne and Prattville, and it's so tough to call this, but I kind of just wonder if I know how this is going to end up. But yeah. So with that being said, that's the 7A, and I really want to see another Hoover Central Phoenix City matchup at state championship, but I like to see Hoover and Auburn. That would be a fun one to watch in state finals. and possibly Auburn and Central Peak City in the semis, and Hoover and Thompson in the north. Because there's no teams that are just as great as Hoover and Thompson are right now. But that will play out as it goes in a couple of weeks, and we'll give it to you on here and our thoughts on it. So Friday night's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun, folks. Okay, now we're going to cover you the 6A bracket here on here. Looks like we got some great matchups coming in the first round here in the South bracket here in Class 6A. The number 1 seed out of Region 2, the Opelika Bulldogs, will be hosting the Wetumpka Indians, and the 4th seed out of Region 3. The winner of that will play either the Hillcrest Patriots or the McGill. McGill's now in 6A. They're the 3rd seed out of Region 1, and they will play the 2 seed out of Region 4, which will get the winner of Opelika Wetumpka there, as you can see there. I'm not going to really – there's so many teams in 6A, but time on that. Then you got the Pelham Panthers, who had a great year. They're the number 1 seed out of Region 3 there. They'll play the Robert E. Lee Generals on there, as you can see on there. And they will play the winner of the Sarah Land, the number 2 seed out of Region 1. The Region 4 3rd seed will play Northridge. So the winner of that will get Robert E. Lee or Pelham. That looks like it'll be Pelham will host that second round there in 6A. Of course, that would be interesting to see how that fares out. Spanish Fort down there at number 1 seed in Region 1, always a favorite in 6A. Spanish Fort's dominance has been well known throughout the state. They've been 5A champions, 6A state champions. Interesting here, they got the Region 3 2 seed, the Helena Huskies. They will play host to the Carver Montgomery Rams. The 3rd seed out of Region 2 there. Hueytown, the 1 seed out of Region 4, will host the Blunt Leopards out of the 4th seed out of Region 1 there. The number 2 seed out of Region 2, the Eufaula. I think they're look them up. Tigers, Eufaula Tigers. They will host the 3rd seed out of Region 3, the Stanhope Elmore Mustangs. So they'll get the winner of Hueytown Blunt in the second round. So we can see a possibly Hueytown Eufaula matchup or Stanhope Elmore. Going to the north here, I'm just going to break this down as much as I can here. The Pinson Valley Indians, they've been back-to-back state champions in 2017 and 18 with Patrick Nixon, all them. Now that his dad is down there now at Central Phoenix City, they will host the Arab team down there in the Region 7C, the 4th seed. They will get the winner of the Coleman Shades Valley. Shades Valley here in Birmingham will be the 3rd seed out of Region 5. And your defending state champions, they'll play the winner of that. Well, excuse me, we'll go back up here. They'll play either Princeton Valley or Arab in that round. Coleman or Shades Valley will in this next round. So looks like a loaded bracket there. Your defending 6A state champions finishing a pretty good year on the note for Oxford. They've been pretty solid all year, and they haven't really been stopped much this year, except for one time to Thompson in the first game of the year. They will be hosting the 4 seed out of Region 6, the Minor Tenacious Tigers. So we're getting a team out of Birmingham, Oxford and Minor. That's going to be good. And they really got their hands full in the next round if they can get past one of these two. And one of these two has been known for its dominance. The Briarwood Christian Lions going to 6A for the first time in a while. They're the 2 seed out of 5, Region 5. They will play the Hartselle Tigers, the Region 8 3rd seed there. And what a great year for Briarwood there. And these region teams play each other. At least you got them all paired up right. I mean, this really is going to be a fun bracket to watch. Oxford in that bracket with Briarwood Christian. So we'll keep tabs on that. Down here in this bracket over here, we got the region number 5, the region champion, the Mountain Brook Spartans, making their back to 6A. They hosting the Muscle Shoals Muscle Shoals, the Tigers. They will play the winner of the number 2 seed, the Fair Fort Payne, and they will play Gardendale. Fort Payne will play Gardendale, the 3rd seed out of Region 6. Yeah, so that's really a good bracket right there. Mount Brook trying to make themselves back to the state championship. They have not been here since '96 under Joey Jones. So Mount Brook's been to the semifinals so many times against Hoover. Back in the 6A days, maybe Mount Brook can do something here. Maybe we'll get a Mount Brook or Oxford matchup down the road here, maybe in the quarters. We'll see how it plays out. They will play that. That bracket looks really good with Fort Payne, Gardendale, and Muscle Shoals and all that. Okay, running up this 6A bracket here, folks. Athens, the number 1 seed out of Region 8, will be hosting the Homewood Patriots. That'll be a fun game. Homewood coming all the way trip up from here in Jefferson County. That'll be a fun game to watch. Winner gets Clay Chalkville, the number 2 seed out of Region 6. They will be playing the number 3 seed out of Region 7, the South Side. So it looks like a potential possible Homewood Clay Chalkville matchup in the second round. If that holds up, Clay Chalkville will host Homewood. And that is your 6A bracket there, folks. Like I said, there's so many teams, I would have to at least go through everything on here to break it down for you. But like I said, I do 7A, and we'll try to give it as much as we can here. But looking at these brackets, there's a lot of football left, but, there's a lot to be played for. And on December 4th, on Bryant-Denny, this is where the state championship is. It's going to be fun to watch. We'll see how that plays out. I'm going to give you 5A here in a second. All right, folks, it's time to reveal the brackets for the 6A. Sorry about that. We just did 6A, the 5A schools. So here we go on 5A. I'm going to start off on here, and tomorrow we'll try to get the rest of these as much as we can on here. Pike County, the number 1 seed out of Region 2, will host the Shelby County Wildcats, the 4th seed out of Region 3. And they will play the winner of the Holtville UMS Wright Bulldogs. UMS Wright, a powerhouse that's known for its dominance in 3A and 4A over the course of the years. They will be playing Holtville. They will get the winner of Pike Road, let me get it right, will be playing Shelby County in that bracket. Donopolis always seem to be in there. They're always a favorite to make a deep run. They will be playing Rebuff down there at the bracket down there. They will play the winner of the Faith Academy Sylacauga game. Donopolis, your number 1 seed out of Region 3 there in that bracket, will host Rebuff, the number 4 seed out of number 2 there in Region Class 5A. So number 1 seed, number 2 seed Faith Academy will be hosting Sylacauga Aggies in that bracket. Moving on down, your undefeated St. Paul Fiscal will be hosting Talladega, the top seed out of Region 1. The winner of that gets Selma or Carroll. Carroll, the 3rd seed out of Region 2. Selma, the 2 seed out of Region 3. So this looks like a great backup to watch in 5A if you watch 5A football. But we're just going to go down the list here. Your defending state champions are Central of Clay County. The number 1 seed out of 4 will be hosting Stamsoon out of Region 1. So should be interesting to tell the story on that one. Shouldn't be a major problem here, but they will get the weight on the winner of they will play the winner of the Andalusia Tigers, the 2 seed out of Region 2, and the 3rd seed, they will be playing the 3rd seed Mayberry, the 3rd seed out of 3. Moving on up, folks. Here's the fun thing. Okay, a good team I like right here on the north side of Alabama near Anniston. The Alexandria Valley Cubs will be the number 1 6 seed out of Region 1. They will be hosting the 4th seed out of Region 7, the West Point. They will get the winner of the Region 8, number 2 seed East Limestone. They will be hosting the Parker Tiger. Parker's in Birmingham. So that ought to be a good matchup. Really, it is. And here's where it gets interesting. Gunnersville, the number 1 seed,
They will be hosting the Hayden team here, the Region 6, number 4 seed, the Hayden team. Getting the winner gets the runner-up from last year, the number 2 seed out of Region 5, the Pleasant Grove Spartans will be hosting Jemison, the number 8 third seed Jemison. Pleasant Grove, who's had an ups and down year, but that means to say that they will host Jemison, and they will get the winner of Garnersville and Hayden. Moving on down here, folks. Ramsey will be hosting their Region 5, number 1 seed region champions, will host Lawrence County, and they will get the winner of the Fairview, number 2 seed out of Region 7, over Center Point. Russellville, always a favorite in 5A, the number 1 seed, will be hosting Fairfield Tigers. And also in that bracket, you got a fun team, the fun love to watch. You got the Leeds Green Wave, always a team that's dangerous in the playoffs, has won a state championship before. They will be hosting the 3rd seed Region 7 Boaz team. So there you have it, folks. There's all your bracket pairings for 5A through 7A. And as I said, I broke down everything on here on 7A, but there's a lot of teams, and it takes a lot to give all this ground to cover all these teams. So anyways, I'm gonna make a note of this, so you know. Not a football. This is part 1 of this series. If you like it, subscribe to it. Follow me on here. We'll be coming to you on Friday nights, giving you all the action into the next round and what we think might happen. Now, I don't know. It's hard to really predict all these teams, but it's unpredictable. But I know how to make 7A predictable. But thanks for watching this. I'm glad y'all enjoyed this. So, college football, Alabama's off this week. Next week they will be playing their big game. Try to get revenge on LSU. Hope I can make my prediction on this. This week you got Florida and Georgia. You got some great matchups. I always make the great picks and everything. We love you guys. We love you in this channel. We love you on Crimson Friendship Circle. We love you guys following me on here. There's a lot to cover, but it is what it is, and I give it to you the best I could. So good luck to all the teams in there. Thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night, and God bless. Thank you.